for this week's Fab Mom on 2 with parenting lifestyle expert Jill Simonian. And in light of yesterday's terror attacks in Brussels, this week we're discussing teaching your kids media smarts during tragic breaking news. So joining us with tips for handling these events with children is parenting lifestyle expert Jill Simonian. Jill, this is a difficult one because we're always so light and happy, but it's important. We still have to talk about it.
It is important, and I'm always happy to be here, but I got to say, today it was like, ugh, we're back here again. We're talking about this again, and today, specifically, what I wanted to talk about was giving our kids the tools to be able to handle all of this media coverage
that they're looking
because that's the tool. I mean, it's one thing as parents, we talk to them, we protect them, but at the same time, as kids grow in the social media age, we got to give them the tools so they can interpret it and be able to keep a handle on their emotions.
Because they're going to see it.
Yeah.
So now your first tip, Jill, is sticking with a credible news source and be sure to filter information for your kids. I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Don't believe everything you see or read on Twitter.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. Because we know the difference between what is a credible news source and what is a random person or organization that knows nothing about the situation, tweeting and posting and kids don't know that, and we need to remind ourselves as parents, talk to your kids, given that they're age appropriate to be able to handle matters like Brussels or school shootings, God forbid, but give them the tools so that they say, hey, this is a credible news source, this is fact, this is a random person's opinion. Teach them and show them the difference between fact and opinion so that they can decipher it when they are looking at these things for themselves. All
right, that's good point. Now the second, consider your own habits and reactions to media. You don't want to freak your kids out, right, Jill? Looking at something and going, oh my God.
And I am so guilty of this. I mean, my girls are 5 and 4 years old, and when the news broke yesterday morning, I saw it on my phone and I woke up and immediately I wanted to go snap that TV on, but I knew if I did, I would be crying. I would be an emotional wreck. I know what seeing those images does to me. And so I made the choice to instead get my news from another outlet so that my kids didn't see me crying, because kids follow our reactions.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
And you know what? That just perfect segue to this next segment.
I gave it away.
No,
I know.
You said another source. Yeah. So we're talking about like your iPhones or tablets. Watch news on those.
That's the thing. I always go to one of my favorite sources to go to for guidance for things like this is Common Sense Media. They're a nonprofit. A lot of you know them. I looked this up and they made a good point. They said big images, on the big screen in your house, that affects little kids more than we can even comprehend. So make a choice to get your news on your phone, on your tablet. Listen through the earpiece if you have to, so that if your little kids are in the house younger than the age of 7, Common Sense Media says younger than the age of 7, they can't handle those big images. And you as the parent really do need to be the filter so that you can determine, listen, is my child old enough and mature enough to handle this type of news? And you're the gatekeeper.
And this is so simple because you can just do it on your own. So that's a good thing about these new technical devices that we have.
I know.
All right. Well, we always like to hear from some of our viewers. So one mom sent this question to thefabmom.com. Take a listen, Jill.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jen. I have a 6-year-old son, and we don't really show him the news when tragedies happen. But I know he may hear something from school. What's age appropriate to share with him?
Age appropriate, 6 years old. Okay. I've talked to pediatricians about this, and I've talked to therapists about this, and across the board, not that I am someone to say turn off the television, because we need to get our news in the way that we get our news, but age appropriate, 6 years old and under, you can't, it's not appropriate for them. They can't absorb it emotionally, mentally, they're not going to understand. So it's best to keep that age outside of this, the breaking news coverage that might be damaging to see and hear. Once the child gets around 8, 9 years old, then you can start, bringing up certain stories, watch things with them online, make sure you've watched it first. You're the gatekeeper as the parent, but make sure you teach your kids and give them the tools to be able to navigate how to get their media.
Yes, and those are those older grades too where other kids are going to be talking about it.
Yeah, they talk about it at school.
That's it. Guys, 6 and under, no. All right. Well, Jill will have more tips on how to be media smart. You can visit cbsla.com and her fabulous website, thefabmom.com. You can also send her a question or a comment on her website. Thanks so much for being here, Jill.
As always.
We covered some important and terrible news, but in a really good, informative way.
It's tough.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Paul, over to you.